You were supposed to finally commit to your goals this year. But what happened? But you also were supposed to get your body right this year. And that didn't happen. You also were supposed to start that business this year and do so many things that did not happen. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 3 things that are cracks inside of you that are leading to you not getting the life that you want. The first one, pointless relationships. Too many of us have relationships with people in our life that are pointless. There's no reason for them to be there, and you don't realize how much they're dragging you down. You don't realize keeping them around simply to say that's your friend, or keeping them around simply because you don't want to have beef with them or for them to think that it's a problem, is taking space of individuals that actually can upgrade your life. And I think one of the things that we kind of get scared of is like, what if we don't find anyone else? What if no one else takes their place? What if no one else can be that friend or that confidant or that however you may essentially use that person? Because if it's a pointless relationship, you're probably using them for something. And that's what you have to realize as well. I think sometimes when we are friends with people that aren't necessarily beneficial to us, we look at it as, oh, well, you know, I just allowed them to dump on me, or I'm just there for them because I don't want them to be alone, or you look at yourself as being like this strong person, but you don't realize you're doing it for a selfish reason as well. You're doing it, maybe you have attachment problems and you find it very hard to detach from people once you've been friends with them or had a relationship for a certain time. You're doing it because you like feeling like somebody needs you, even though you know that's not a good relationship for you, even though you know that's not a good person for you. You like the feeling of feeling needed. And so I think with your relationships in your life that you feel like are pointless or they lackluster, ask yourself, what are you getting from this thing? And work on that thing. Like, that's what I had to ask myself as well, because it's so easy for us to put it on other people or to put it on time or to put it on titles. Like, oh, well, that's my best friend, or, oh, I've known this person for this long or whatever. But it's like, if that relationship is not providing you any value, if that relationship is not interesting to you anymore, what is the reason why you're keeping it around? Because there's a reason why you're keeping that thing around. And that's what you need to focus on. But I just feel like people don't realize how much pointless relationships bring them down. Like, there's no reason for this person to be here. And you're just keeping them around because you don't know yet, but it's actually keeping you away from the goals that you have for yourself. Number 2, overthinking. Having this mindset that everything has to be a certain way, all the stars have to be in line in order for you to start, has held so many people back from doing so many things, including myself. Because we have this mindset that, oh my gosh, in order to work out, I have to make sure I eat all healthy foods, because what's the point of me working out and I'm not getting enough protein? We tell ourselves, oh my gosh, to start this business, I have to make sure I know how to do the web design. I have to make sure I know how to, ship the products and do all this stuff, because if I don't do that, and we don't realize it's just an excuse. Like, I've realized overthinking is synonymous with an excuse. Overthinking is the thought process that, oh, we have a certain amount of time to do something. We have the privilege to do it later if that's what we may do. But similar to y'all, I've realized a lot of the stuff that I do now, or I wish I was more, I guess, progressed more in, would have been better if I would have started when I said I was going to start. Like, if you said you were going to start working out when you first said it, if you said you were going to start that business when you first said it, or you said you were going to end that relationship the first time you first said it, how differently your life would have been. And I'm also not one to dwell. Like, I don't like to dwell on things like, oh, I wish this never happened, because I am a big advocate that the things that I went through prepared me and made me the woman that I am now. But I will be lying if I told myself that sometimes I'm not remiss of like, dang, like if I would have started at a different time period. And so I just want people to think about that when it comes to overthinking. Like, you get yourself to a point where you feel like, if I think this thing thoroughly, or if it's going to have a certain feeling or certain thought where I'm going to be like, yes, let's start. But it's like, no, start scared, start tired, start weary, start not knowing, because that's the only thing that's holding you back. It's not having enough information. It's not understanding something. It's not being old enough or smart enough or not being enough. It's simply not starting. And I don't know, I think that's a big one too, to realize like that's a reason that you haven't gotten to where you wanted to in life, because you're overthinking things. And I think we need to go back to our childhoods when you're young and you're doing things for the first time and you don't care. Like, you can start a sport at 5 years old, or you could start a sport in high school when you're 14 years old and starting a freshman team. And it's not like oh my gosh, you're just now starting. It's this thing of like, you feeling okay with being a beginner, you feeling okay with not being perfect. But once we get to a certain age, I feel like we have this expectation that society expects us to be perfect at things. And it's like I always say, to get to day 100, you have to get to day one. You have to start with day one. So stop overthinking and simply just start. And the final thing I want to talk to you guys about is social media. Though, obviously, I am a content creator, so I do see the benefits of social media. I also do see the setbacks. And I've realized for myself that I am not above anybody or anything. Like, I think a lot of people have this mindset, whether you realize it or not, like you're above certain things. And I could be on social media all day and it doesn't affect me. And I can see this or that on social media and it doesn't affect me. And it's like, it does. Like, there's things in our life constantly that influence us. I think some people think, oh, they do everything because that's what they wanted to do. Like, no, we've all gotten an influence somewhere, from the way that you dress, from the way that, some people even drive, some people walk, to the music you listen to. Like, we've all been influenced by something. And when you're a child, it's like you don't really have that much of a choice as to what influences you. Is usually by your parents or your guardian. But once you become an adult, I think it's imperative to be aware of what you're influenced by and filter things out. Like, I am aware that there are things on social media that I don't need to be looking at for long periods of time. I'm aware there's things on social media I don't even need to be looking at all, for the simple fact that it's going to give me some kind of emotion, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's happy, whether it's sad. And we could see it all the time. Like, go on, it was so crazy, like 2-3 days ago, I was on Instagram Reels, and I'm just going up and down the Reels, just show you random ones. And I just was aware of how many emotions I felt. I saw like 2-3 videos, literally was laughing so hard. And I saw another video and it kind of was sad. And then I saw another video and it was neutral. And it just made me feel so many emotions. And it's like, wow, like I literally was like, wow, this is why I have to be aware of how much social media I'm consuming and what I'm consuming. I said it on a previous video, but Monday through Friday, I have a spam page where I only follow individuals who are doing things that I want to do with industries that I want to be. And so I only go on that page. On the weekends, that's when I go on my regular page. And yes, I am aware of what's going on and the things that's happening. Like, it's not saying you can't know things completely and you have to completely get rid of them, but I think that's just my way of filtering it out. And 2 days is enough. Like, in 2 days, I catch up on what's going on. On 2 days, I know stuff. And for the most part as well, like, if it's something really, really, really big, you'll know about it, whether you're talking to friends or it'll end up on your For You page somehow. But for the most part, I don't ever miss anything. Like, there's nothing that I missed. I'm like, I wish I would have saw this on Wednesday, or I wish I would have saw this on Monday. Like, it never gave I cared, and never gave it mattered. And so I think that's what you just have to be aware of. Like, the things that you're witnessing on social media, the things that you're seeing are affecting you, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. So in order to, in my opinion, get to where you want to be in life, you have to filter out some of those things. Because it puts you in a mood, it puts you in a mindset, it puts you in a thought process of cracking. Like, it makes you feel like you're not enough when you get to 10,000 followers on social media because this girl got to 100,000 followers. It makes you feel like you're not enough when you start your first job out of college and you're making $60,000, but then you hear your friend is making 80,000, or you see somebody post, forget you even know how much they make, you see somebody who you went to school with post and they just got a new Range Rover. Like, we see all this stuff on social media that makes us feel like we're not enough. And I realized that about myself. Like, I would see people my age or younger than me doing these crazy things, and it would make me feel like nothing I did was enough. I'm not enough because I don't have a certain kind of car. I'm not enough because I don't live in a high-rise apartment. Like, and I had to get to a point where I'm like, yeah, I just got to stop consuming these things. Because there are things that I do in my life that these people haven't done yet. But of course, they're not going to post that. Like, you have to realize social media is a highlight reel. That is what it's for. And some people get mad at that. Like, oh, people only post good stuff. And that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not about to tell you about my deepest, darkest secrets. I'm not about to tell you exactly what I'm going through. Why? Because people on the internet are mean, and that's not for everybody to know. But if I want to go to a trip to Thailand, yes, I'm going to post that. I get a new car, yes, if I choose to, I can post that. It's about you being aware of what you're consuming. If you don't want to keep seeing these people post all this stuff, if it's making you feel bad, if it's making you not feel good about yourself, then stop consuming it. Like, I get so confused when people comment mean stuff under celebrities' pages. Like, oh, we're tired of you. And, oh, when are you going to you know, stop posting, da, 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 like, and a lot of times those people even follow them. Not only did you see a post of them, you could have said not interested. You could have blocked their page, but instead you went to the comment section, thought of something, typed it, and pressed send. But then you say you don't care. That's all I'm saying. So those are the 3 things that I think you should be aware of that are a lot of times holding you back from where you want to be. It's having pointless relationships. It is social media, and it is overthinking. My bad, I had to think about it. It is overthinking. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.